meeting, High School Board, sorry. Are we good to go?
We're good to go.
We will first start off with a roll call. So if you say here, want to call your name, Richard? Here. Merle? Here. Kelsey?
Here.
Heidi?
Here.
Thank you, Heidi. Crystal? Here. And Chair is here, so we have a full quorum. If you guys would join me in the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yes. So, if everybody's had a chance to look over the agenda, I would entertain a motion to accept it as presented.
I make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing no one to the vote, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So we are following now supposed to present it. Moving right along, didn't seem to sign up for public comments. Going once. And twice. Nope, but anybody for that, so. We will move on to board communication and board spotlight. Middle school has been doing some people in the same session. Wanted to give them a shout out for their work on that. One involving bullying and the other involving substance abuse. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
So,
last Thursday night, Mitch Metcalf was our guest speaker.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that work. Much appreciated and that's super important. So we appreciate it.
I'm gonna have Bill talk about the FFA Harvest Fair just a bit. He went, I was not able to go. So.
Just mentioning, some of the nice work that our schools are doing in building community and connecting kids and giving oftentimes our older kids an opportunity to mentor and support and work with our younger students. So the FFA annual, I don't know, Dan, how long has that Harvest Fair been in?
10
Oh, wow.
years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Ever
And
since-
I have a
ever since
couple
we-
photos. I'll pop them up when I get into my superintendent's report. But they do a really nice job of kind of decking out the greenhouse and having all kinds of crafts and opportunities to learn about cultivating and growing and those types of things through some of the crafts. They have a petting zoo, so they have a number of animals in, and it's all the first grade classes come in. And participate. So they're on a schedule all day long and they come in and their kids do a great job of entertaining those first graders. I think the first grade teachers are glad to have someone else entertain them for a little while, over the course of the day, but it's pretty neat. Some of they get up close with some of the animals and things like that. They set up a little pumpkin patch for them out in the grass, and they all get to go out and find their pumpkin out there. So it's just a nice opportunity and an example of many experiences that are created for our kids to work together. So
I will move on to some recognition for our fall sports at the high school. While I think, Dan, you can correct me, I think all of the fall sports have wrapped up now. Obviously cross country, volleyball, football, I want to give kudos to them and all the hard work and dedication. But the last week has definitely occupied this campus with soccer. And so a huge shout out to Carlos Perez and the boys team for making it to the semifinals and being part of that playoff. Played their heart out. They really had a phenomenal season. So, want to honor them. And then the girls with Ben Bondry as head coach, obviously they had a phenomenal weekend. So I would like to call out both those, the players, the coaches, the staff that supports them getting there, and of course, parents who make it all possible for those players to get there, and just absolute the rock solid heart of the players for digging in and leaving nothing on the field, especially a double double, double or PK hits on several of those games. So, round of applause to those. With that, I'll move to, Kevin and Peyton, if you guys want to give us an ASB. Report.
It has gone by, but we're going to be filling in. So good evening, everyone. We're here again for the club report at the high school. We've got a lot that's been going on. So to start out with ASB, earlier in October, after a home week, we had Peak Out and Lavender Week. We raised over $400 for cancer. So that is awesome. And then on Friday, we had our Veterans Breakfast. That is our second year doing it. And that was a wonderful event. We had lots of veterans from our community come in and enjoy free breakfast at the high school. We got lots of donations and we had a raffle and bingo, so it was a lot of fun. And then we're shifting gears right now and we're working on to focus raising money for Mr. Polias. He does a lot of wonderful work in our community, working to get gifts and provide food for some local families in our district. And so that's coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're doing some small fundraisers at the school for that. But one big thing that's in the works coming up after Thanksgiving will be a staff basketball game versus we're working to bring that back. That was an event we had a few years ago before COVID, and it was a nice community event. So all the funds from us are profits will be going towards that charity. So it'll be pretty good. That's on
What's the
November.
time and date on that
Yeah.
charity event?
That is November 28th at 7 p.m. and it'll be at North Marion High School in Gym 1.
Thank you.
Well, for Key Club's continuing to focus on the community, and school service projects. Including last week we did a school cleanup, around the high school and the district. Many students have been involved and, people are helping sign up to, get involved with the Kiwanis and, Santa, Love Santa. And meal programs.
For FBLA, they just went on a tour at University of Oregon this past week. A lot of club members attended, and they're just starting to prepare for regionals that will take place in January. And I don't know, is it hosted? I think it's hosted in Portland. Well, no, that's state. That'll be later. And they also had a meeting this Thursday where Mr. Milburn is coming to talk as a guest speaker, so I'll be excited.
As touched on, FFA, they attended a soil testing field trip at OSU. And they had the first grade harvest festival, where they had a goat, mini pony, goose, and a couple fun activities for the kids.
For Mecha, they are working on a migrant babysitting program for migrant families for their children. During some nights, they had one this past week. And additionally, Mecha made an ofrenda for El Dia de los Muertos. So that was nice. It was by up in the media center at the high school, kind of honoring family members who have passed. And Mr. Milburn stopped by at their last meeting to congratulate the group for the hard work, looking at Milburn's Manor, where they raise money for their club.
As for NHS, NHS is planning to begin offering a tutoring program during advisory and second try for freshmen and sophomores, and mainly for freshmen.
And that'll take place on Mondays. For Skills USA, they're beginning the SLCS practice in November, and we're really excited to be heading to Knife River Training Center for this year's day competition. I'm not quite sure on when that takes place, but hopefully I can provide you with an update later on that.
For robotics, North Marion is hosting a BEX robotics competition or tournament. On Saturday, the 11th. What they did, and, they learned a lot, at the Sandy tournament on the October 28th. And, they're excited to see, if their recent addition to the robot will, get them further in the tournament. They made it to the quarterfinals and they want to go higher this time. Their work in the middle school is also seeing results as they benefit from preparing in the same room as the high school teams. And Moran keeps a watchful eye as she and Coach Johnston discuss for future growth, and direction of the North Marion Robotics.
For NAHS, that's that's National Art Honor Society. They're beginning to brainstorm for the annual collaboration with the PTO for the Kindness Week stickers. So that's very exciting. And the theme is positive vibes and NM Huskies. They have also made progress on working to accompany the food meal installation that will be at the high school. And the goal is to happen daily in December, and we have their fingers crossed on that.
For yearbook, they're getting closer to their first deadline and their main theme, for this yearbook is bigger picture. And, how it fits on, how all has to fit together. And, Ms. Bailey has mocked up of the cover.
For Awesome, that is Operation Student Safety on the Move. They're currently serving and planning for the focus of our activities. The club members are moving towards positive affirmations and lifting up others.
And for drama, this past month, they've had a fundraiser through Melbourne. They also had so many people and they earned a bunch of money through it. They're still struggling to get, practice times because without a director to come in and they can have practice times later after school, but, please reach out if you know anyone, who may be interested.
Do you all have any questions or comments? Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We have you and Ania up, which is Deanna and Mark. They want to come up. Of course.
Hello. Thank you for the round of applause this week.
He never knew.
I did. Just a little surprise. You guys know me, I'm Jana Dow, president.
I'm Mark John. Building rep
Building rep for the middle school, yeah, and he teaches science.
for a few years.
So I just wanted to let you guys know what North Marion educators are doing. We have a lot of positive things going on, so we're currently in the process of updating our bylaws as a union. And then we have sending out information. Can't think of what that's about right now, sorry. And then this is providing support and appreciation days to our members. So the picture right there is a magnet. We got everyone magnets, and then with our union contact information, because it's always good to know who you're talking to. And then we are looking forward to our PD summit that's next week. We get 2 full days of just pure training. We even get like team time. A lot of us are presenting, so we're really excited for that opportunity, especially before Thanksgiving break, which will be very nice. And then just a shout out to Sherry Moran. She's obviously, you guys just heard about her, but she's presenting at the summit about the role AI can play and using AI to teach, using its tools. And then she's also going to go to Phoenix to present on the new teach safety for the workshop videos that she was. So at this time, we have nothing new to report for areas that we want support. These are going up, so we're excited. You probably noticed, or hopefully you noticed a lot of us been ready to do on Mondays, just showing our support community right now and everything that's going on over there. But we're definitely happy to be in the moment we're doing. So, and then those ones. You might have to make your
No. But I just found out I'm sharing. The sharing of the slide, I didn't prepare them, it was a blank slide. Just said, and that's kind of like, you should read the slide. Turn against someone else. So we're promoting literacy school-wide, as far as systems, ecology, approach to school and university. Mainly through English language arts department right now. Where we've had teachers you can see up there. Mrs. Lockwood, Mrs. Landry, Mr. Young, Mr. Dembski were invited to speak at the Oregon State Literacy Conference. So, spoke about ELA SBAC scores at the middle school and how they work tirelessly to build the culture and system of promising practice and readers. I've actually heard good things about our ELA program this year. Yeah, no, I have. When I hear the kids say, and this is, I'm adlibbing, you know, I like Shakespeare, or, you know, something like that. I haven't heard that in the past. So whatever they're doing, that new curriculum is really selling kids and really kind of getting kids involved in it. So they're really not bad on the park. Their new curriculum, the great minds. Engineering, cross-curricular planning, the PLC work. Avid, I think, is making a huge difference for us. I shared a story the other day that I had one 7th grade class and I just gave them some directions to read and they all pulled out highlighters and started highlighting without me saying anything. I was like, whoa, it's working, it's showing up in the classroom without adult instruction. So really going really well. And just thank you all for your support.
And community events will be coming. It's only November. It feels like it's really late in the year, but it's not. It's still early, so we'll get them too. And then, of course, our mission and vision. Mission and vision. It's been a long day, sorry. Every day weekend, Monday, you know. If you have any questions, you can always reach out, or if you have any questions.
What would be? Well, I think one of them was the Oregon.
That's what teachers are able to do.
Yes.
Just go back up. Is it Linda or Diane? That there, OCs would be OCSS. OCLA is Oregon. We don't know. Our ELA teacher.
Language arts.
So we get a science teacher and a third grade teacher.
STA and LSTA.
English language arts.
They presented at the literacy conference, as opposed to the organizations, but the main one was the Oregon, teaching of English.
Yeah.
The other is Oregon Council of Social Studies. We're partnered with. I'm meeting so many acronyms in education that it can get really confusing really quick, and sometimes there's double active, like, anyway, thank you for asking, I'm sorry. Yes. And OSBA is working. Making sure.
Thank you very much, Dale.
Yeah.
Have a good training next week.
Yes, it's so exciting.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I like not being directed.
All right, we'll move on to TV. We have 3 extended overnight field trips to acknowledge, one for boys basketball tournament December 1st, one for girls basketball tournament December 1st and 2nd. All right. So the girls tournament is going to be in McLean December 1st and 2nd. They have a game for an extended field trip December 8th, 9th in Grants Pass. And the varsity boys game for the Grants Pass also on the 8th and 9th. Moving on to ODE, ODE stated education updates and OSBA updates. You had a conference. None of the rest of us were at.
And I might just come back to that in the superintendent report, if that's okay, I plugged it in there. And I have, I have an off the record meeting to attend with COSA tomorrow, so that's when I'll get my next legislative update, so. It will be after that.
Perfect. So do you have anything more to add in there? Okay. We want to make notice of a vacancy for position 6, here on the school board. Those applications are available online. Now, is that correct, Diane? They should be up. I think you told me that they were up, so.
They are on the home webpage.
Awesome. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate that. There's also a guide there for what it means to be a school board member and kind of a candidate guide. So wanted to make notice of those. Also wanted to make notice of, we have 3 budget committee positions that have a vacancy. And so those are also posted. If you are so inclined and would like to donate some time and talent, it would be much appreciated. Both those are crucial endeavors for the district, so. I think that's it for section 2. Unless anybody had anything else, we'll move on to it.
You go ahead, if one other thing taken,
Sure.
okay. It's
Yeah,
not-
go for it.
it's not on the agenda, but we have in the audience a principal who's celebrating her 50th birthday. Kimberly Jordan, you know, was and her staff and students did a great job of reminding her that. A year further down the road, I think you did a nice job there. So anybody wants to congratulate you on your celebration, and where else would you rather be?
Nice. I hope you also have I'm doing it.
Well, happy birthday. Hope it was a great day.
Thank you.
I'll be here working, but I hope it was a great day, so. All right, moving on to number 3, our consent agenda. If you guys have had a chance to look at that.
I'll make a motion that we, approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion in a second.
Start with approval.
Any discussion on the motion? Go for it.
How many coaches? Middle school basketball?
So we run our boys basketball and girls basketball at separate times. And there are 2 7th grade teams and 2 8th grade teams, so there are 4 coaches. And we were scrambling a bit, but we're fully staffed. And boys is happening right now for the next 10 weeks. And then it will switch to girls basketball after the break, like in mid-January. We'll also host wrestling at the same time.
So they expanded.
Yeah, just spread it out a little bit so that because of gym time, like we hosted 2 games in our gym and 2 games over in high school gym 3, is it? Today, and we were hosting Patton Middle School from Midville.
Yeah, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Moving along to item number 4. Business and budget appropriations. We do not have our audit completed yet, but I didn't know if you had some things you wanted to just share with us, Linda.
Sure. Yeah, I don't, the auditors, we have a couple of a new GASB that is taking a little time for all auditors and me. But I did hear from them today that they're putting the final touches on the numbers I gave them. And would hope to have something back to me next week. They definitely want to present at the December 11th meeting. So I do have the revenue and expense spreadsheets loaded for general fund and the other funds for this year, 23-24. Our ending fund balance, which is this year's beginning fund balance, was very close to what I estimated in the budget. It's within $44,000. I'm always happy when I come in within 100,000. So made my day when I figured that one out. On the spreadsheet, it's my first stab of all the payroll and associated payroll costs. So those numbers will fluctuate a little bit throughout the year as I fine tune things and we finish hiring, or as you can see, this month we had a couple resignations, so we'll go from there and move along. I did get my first tax payment. It was about the same as last year, but that's one of probably 4 for the month of November. So we'll just see how they come by when I report to you in December. That's all I have, unless people have questions for me.
Thank you, Linda.
Yep.
All right, moving on to number 5. Board action, this is gonna be for EDO on the medical leave. Do you have a little bit you wanted to give on background? This is an ORS recommendation, correct?
Right.
So,
And you might recall, we had to, make some updates to our family medical leave insurance, policy last spring. This is the family medical leave policy. And it just brings this policy in line with the changes in the legislation. And, Linda, I said if there are questions about some of the details of the changes, let Linda go ahead and talk about some of those things.
I don't know if you guys have any questions, but we are using a third party to take care of Oregon paid leave, which then encompasses OFLA and FMLA also.
There was a note that the proposed policy was no different, was no change from the previously adopted one.
That's the policy on insurance that I referenced before this. This policy hasn't changed.
Has changed.
Yeah, but it's companion, that we adopted last spring, hasn't changed.
Are there several different mandates that need to be complied with, several states, et cetera? I know there's 3 or 4 different acronyms. And
There are several different kinds of options and different kinds of needs and they have been affected by some of the changes in legislation.
Well, I will speak to the second paragraph down, matches my industry is exact statement. Where it's the Family Medical Leave Act, the OFLA Act, Oregon Military Family, so all of that is pretty standard across different industries. And a requirement to that standard. And so I think this policy is actually just giving us a new alignment, so that we're following what's the new law with the Oregon Paid Leave. Which I know we've been teaching. I would make a motion that it's DCBBA, GEBBA, as presented.
a motion, a second. The second was Richard and any discussion on the motion? Heidi, you good?
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 5B, recommendation to adopt 2023-24 board goals as discussed at the last work session. Is that right?
Yeah.
So give you a little background on this. We talked about this a little bit at our retreat and had some recommendations from the board. We brought those forward at our October meeting. And the board had a chance to review those and reflect on those during that session. And we agreed that the board's thinking at that time was those proposed goals look like they could be brought forward to this meeting for formal adoption. So here they are. presented there.
Anybody wants to?
I'm looking maybe up to, 2023.
A motion, a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries.
Don't forget to say thank you. I think staff will feel like people are supportive of aligned to the strategic plan and the planning goals that they're doing in their building. So I appreciate that alignment here among the board.
Five C, we have so our board has a single vote for each of those positions to be cast. For Region 11 and 12 board positions. So given that one of those is a contested. It's Region 11. Okay. So we probably should deal with those. You can listen to them, I guess, if you want to, but.
I'll make a motion that we vote for board position Region 11, that, okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't want to like put you up. And then board position Region 12 Alonzo Oliveras. Yeah, and then legislative policy position Region 11 Maria Pesky, and then legislative position Region 12 Meryl Stetson.
Okay. Fine. I don't feel that.
Hello?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Heidi.
It's very hard to hear. Can you tell me again, who you nominated for, between the two candidates for, is it 12? 11, for 11.
11. I nominated Jeff.
Okay,
You good? Heidi,
Does that clarify, Heidi?
or do you need something else?
I wasn't also clear on the legislative policy committee. You nominated.
I don't have a second on this, so if somebody will second that, then we can move to a discussion, then I'll try and restate this motion. Okay, so I have a second from either one.
Pick one.
Kelsey. So then if we move to a discussion on this, restating, so for board position Region 11, we're, as a board, we're endorsing Jeff Crapper, casting our vote there. For Region 12, Alonzo Oliveros, sorry, I'll be butchering that. For legislative policy position, Region 11, we are supporting Maria Prezi. And then for Region 12, we're celebrating our home team of Merle. Does that restate that okay, Heidi?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. And so is there any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will move to a vote. I'm not gonna restate that again. But all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Good luck, Merle. Okay. All right, we also have, on 5E, a resolution to amend the bylaws of OSB elections. Did you want to speak to that at all?
Just, there are two resolutions, each updating bylaws. The first resolution amends the bylaws that actually creates the rural caucus. And would allow, the rural caucus to have voting members as a both a board position and legislative policy position. The second resolution really was just when they, OSBA looked at their bylaws, which hadn't been updated since 2018. They just made some necessary changes to update the bylaws to reflect current legislation. There were some typos and, a few things like that that just got cleaned up in that. There weren't necessarily major changes, except those that would align with their current practice and legislation. They in essence have moved that from their board and approved it as their board, and then they ask local boards to consider then adopting those resolutions.
Thank you.
Again, then there are two separate resolutions to the.
Okay, so, we can deal with those separately or together. Separately might be cleaner.
Yeah. So I make a motion that we, are we voting on this? We are. aren't we?
You vote to adopt.
Yes.
Okay, vote to adopt the OSBA resolution to amend Oregon School Boards Association's bylaws relating to composition of the board of the directors. A second.
I have a motion, a second. Second was Kelsey. Any discussion?
I did sit through this rural caucus and we actually qualified, just FYI.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. So moving to the second one, this is a resolution to amend the 2018 version of the bylaws, is that correct?
No, to amend the 20.
To amend, yeah, the 2018 version, yeah.
So I'll move that we adopt proposed amendments to the 2018 OSBA bylaws.
I have a motion in a second. The second was Kelsey. What's that? Any discussion on that?
I'm just gonna state that I'm voting no because they're changing the way they're doing term limits for directors.
Any other discussion on the motion? We're gonna have a contested. I will do a roll call. So, I'll do this vote by roll call. So Richard? Merle? Aye. Kelsey?
Aye.
Heidi?
Aye.
Crystal?
Nay.
And chair votes for, so that motion carries.
Got it, Diane?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
All right, 5F, recommendation to approve for student contract amendment and extension. Do you have any more background you want to give to us, or Linda?
There was another piece of information that First Student put together that was in the board packet, if you guys had time to review that. Basically, they can't hire new drivers. The districts around us are paying more, and so they are losing drivers every couple of months. They'll lose a driver. So they're trying, what we're trying to do is stay competitive and, try to remember that a bus driver has a CDL. They could go drive a truck and make a lot more money and work a lot more hours, but these people usually don't want to work, but it is a split day for them, a morning and an afternoon. So it is hard to retain them. We've done a pretty good job, but we really could use one more bus route, but they can't seem to hire. So they're hoping this and then the future amendment for the contract to extend it will help with that. So the superintendent and I do recommend approval of this.
Thanks, Linda. Sorry, was there other questions for her?
You'd probably be the best to answer. If you guys have questions.
I guess I didn't see a packet with additional information. Should we have received it?
There's
This,
a link in the agenda.
right here, this one, that says First Student North Marion. If you open that link, there's a whole, let's see if it'll open for me. This one with the picture, and they wrote a lot about all of it and gave you some samples of surrounding districts and what they're paying versus what we're paying. So.
Linda,
Yes,
this is what First Student's asking us. I'm just actually astounded at the pay difference for the surrounding districts, and really the increase is pretty insignificant, but that's First Student's decision.
yes, yes. But yes, I agree with you, Heidi. We did work hard. They wanted to increase it a little more this year, and I said, we've already budgeted. I really can't go over that appropriation. I can do a little more this year, which is significant. It's a couple $100,000, but I can't do a lot. Let's make it up in the next couple of years so we keep continuing to add increases for our drivers and stay competitive in the market.
Any other questions for Linda? Otherwise, I would look for a motion to.
Yes. I make a motion that we approve the First Student contract amendment and extension as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. The second was from Merle. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 6, Superintendent and District Operations Report.
All right. And thanks for driving, Linda. Just a couple of things in terms of update, and hopefully, as I promised in the superintendent's report, we'll also try to kind of share some highlights, some opportunities to celebrate when we see aspects of our strategic plan in motion and in play. And this particular photograph was taken last week. This is one of our student service teams, and involves school psychologists, counselors, staff with expertise in special education, regular classroom teachers, the principal. In essence, kind of a sense of the circle of support, that we bring to think about kids, and the notion of learning together to cultivate lifelong growth. And this is one of those examples where no one part of our school community may have all the answers. So we bring these integrated teams together to think about strategies for supporting students. And again, just an opportunity to learn together, but also in thinking about how to bring what we know about supporting students to those solutions. Thanks, Linda. And then aspects to kind of think about, our vision in action. It's just really easy to take a lap around school, around the campus, around the community, and see, aspects of our school communities engaged and unified in providing that support and creating experience for kids, giving them opportunities to find their paths. And it's all over. A short picture of that veterans breakfast where our kids had a chance to express some appreciation and gratitude for members of the community. And this is one of those things where, they may or may not have veterans, in their family, or in their history, but they realize it's an important part of the community and the service that they want to do. We've seen the community out and about at our events. A couple of photos of, the end of a soccer match over in Scappoose. So, community coming out and family coming out to support kids on a cold night up in the north part of the state. And and then our families at out at Philomath a couple of weeks ago at the cross-country meet, but this, you know, that kind of engagement and getting opportunities to interact with community and each other outside, you know, the classroom walls as well as inside. And thanks. This was just a photo from Saturday afternoon at Liberty Stadium, and you know, it just kind of is that notion of, you know, if we build it for kids, the community will come. And we're seeing that over and over and over again. So as we're getting back into being able to host some of those events and have kids and community involved together again, it's just a good feeling to see, you know, the interactions between kids and staff and the community around the events and supporting kids in the things that they do. Thanks, Linda. I had mentioned there's a couple of photos here from the Harvest Festival. We had our leadership students a couple of weeks ago put together a parents' night out over at the primary school, where they came over and worked with kids and created games and puzzles and, you know, had a whole night for them so that student parents could go out and enjoy themselves for a few hours. So we have a child development class where kids go actually from the class go down and work with students at the on their skills in the primary school. We have a big brother and big sister program. Kelly Ione does a great job of putting that together, where we're able to match, you know, some mentor older students with younger students in that program. The Reading Buddies programs, where again we have older students, you know, partnering up with younger students, even at the elementary level, giving them learning how to be mentors and those types of things. And our Backpack Buddies, where kids have a sense of, you know, what it is to provide some service to help stuff backpacks, you know, that kids get delivered by other members of our community, you know, where they're partnering and working together, you know, to support students and support those students, some of those basic needs. It's pretty neat to be able to just walk around campus a couple times a day, and you get the full flavor of that. And I share that because it's really, really important. And it's also one of those things we've been reflecting a little bit on what we've missed. And sometimes we think about, you know, the reading and writing and mathematics that we've missed, but you know, as I think about some of these things, these are some of the things that we probably missed the most, those opportunities for kids to be able to be involved in some of these kinds of activities where they really grow and mature and learn how to care for others. And so it's nice to be able to be back and be able to do that, and always kind of thinking about giving grace to those students as they're getting back and learning how to do that, because they didn't have that natural progression of being able to be together like that for the past 4 or 5 years. Thanks, Linda. And yeah, we continue to kind of think about moving our goals forward. You'll hear a little bit more about some of the work that we're doing around goal number 1 and progress we're making along those lines. Again, staff continue to work together to align and coordinate the work that they're doing in the classroom as well. And we see lots of evidence of goal 2. For me, I can't get some of the soccer images out of my mind right now. But you talked about that notion of working hard to build skills. These kids didn't grow up being able to play soccer. They had to choose it, they had to work at it, they had to go through struggles, they had to learn how to do new things in order to improve their skills. They had to learn how to deal with adversity. They had to learn how to deal with each other and work together. They had to learn how to do it, under all kinds of, rainstorms, lightning storms, whatever it was. But that notion of building a mindset, a sense that I can, with practice, I can get better. We sometimes talk about, the Jenga puzzle. We don't know exactly where it is, that a student's gonna find that growth mindset where they learn, I know I can get better if I work at it, I know I can do this. But we do know that if you learn it in one place, it transfers over to other areas as well. So whether they learned it in mathematics and it transferred into soccer, or whether they learned it in soccer and it transferred into mathematics, the importance of being able to learn, that practice and persistence and pays off. And I can learn to do hard things if I stick with that. So I think that's some good examples there that we've been able to see over the past few weeks and share with the community. And there it is. As been mentioned, we continue to think about how to grow our own skills through professional development as adults. And we've seen some opportunities for, as Jana said, for some of our staff to be involved in actually providing the professional development for others. You'll see, that's Jason Olson. He's an ELD program teacher from the high school. He had just finished doing some a seminar with high school staff around support for English learners in the classroom and across the curriculum. That picture down in the bottom there, that's what was Desiree's board for a couple of days because she's been working with other staff to put together those 2 days that Janet was talking about. And it's, and you got my invitation and my update if you want to present. It's not too late to get a slot to present, and but you're more than welcome to come participate on Monday and Tuesday, in any of the sessions, and you'll be really, really proud of your staff, because many of our teachers and support staff are doing the presentations, they're leading the presentations. We've got that kind of expertise in the district, so you'd be proud of them, so feel free to come by and join the session. And Desiree will send you the app, you can sign up
Tomorrow.
And again, it's just a nice piece. I'm looking forward to it. And finally, I was at some sessions at the OSBA conference. An interesting one, and you might hear about him again or do some reading, but Thomas Ashbury is probably the leading researcher in the world on board governance. He's just been in the field and has done all the research. He's probably taught at every university you can imagine. He's written every paper and book chapter that you can imagine related to board governance. But his, in essence, his findings lead to the notion that kind of a balanced approach, balance between the superintendent and the board, approach to governance is, has a tendency to pan out to be the most effective. And board members had lots of chance to think through scenarios and do the research and those types of things. It was a full day pre-conference session that he put on, so he was able to really spend some time to walk through it and think through it. But I'm proud to say, I think we really, when you look at the elements of what would be considered balanced governance, this board, now and, in the past has operated that way. And so I think, you can feel good about that. And I'll share some materials with you so you can kind of see what some of those standards and touch points are for that kind of work. That was a nice presentation. And then Dr. Adolph Brown, did the presentation for the keynote on Friday morning. Also, he hosts a show, The Parent Test. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. He clearly is a talented, actor, and musician and dancer, as well as being a college professor and a therapist and, degrees in psychology and such. But he really does a lot of work, around the notion of bias and stereotype and those types of things. And he helps to kind of gently and with a lot of humor help us to, kind of reflect on ourselves. And you can see his, the photo, you can't see it very well, but the top photo, is how he entered the session, and he looked and dressed, much differently, than he looked and was dressed when he, took the clothes he was wearing off and put on his doctoral, hat and gown and those types of things. But just a lot of, opportunities for us to remember, to have empathy, to ask questions, to not rush to judgment or assumption. How quickly, those falling into those stereotypes, those biases, those judgments, can actually get us into trouble, and in the world of, kids who are dealing with lots of things can actually cause harm. So it's really important for us to, to provide the kind of support that I've been describing that our staff is doing along those lines, but also to keep practicing how we check our assumptions and whether stereotypes are guiding our thinking about each other, or real questioning and getting to know each other, might actually rule the day. And that's all I got. More than you wanted to hear.
No, it's good.
Any questions? That's right. Want to give us a science or science curriculum update?
So beyond what, there's not a ton I have to add beyond what's in the memo. We are underway with the science adoption process, and I will take an opportunity to just say a big shout out to the folks that have been involved. The level of discussions that we see them having are really powerful. As it said in the memo, we really try to phase it through. Phase one is really establishing how do we want to approach science instruction, and that's really where we're at right now. So those discussions are not only looking through our equity lens, our strategic plan, our science data, like how can we think about what our kids maybe need based on what the data is telling us, and what would we see in a textbook that would tell us we're meeting that need. But they also started having really deep and powerful systems discussions about how we really approach our science instruction. Our next phase that's coming up very quickly will be to, one, take all that information and develop a rubric that is unique to North Marion. So that can be the lens that we look at materials through. And then we'll start actually getting our hands on some materials. The other piece that I want to add is just a quick update, is we are still looking for ways to get people involved. And we know that 3 o'clock after school is not always a great time for people to be involved. So Dr. Rhodes and I have had some good discussions about what are ways that we can really expand how we create focus groups, opportunities for people to give input that aren't just coming and being on the committee. On top of that, I know that Crystal and I had a conversation about the fact that coming and sitting in a classroom full of science teachers is a little intimidating. I'm a teacher, I have some cred, and it's intimidating for me because they are experts, right, in their field. And so having opportunities for them our parents to be able to voice those thoughts and concerns and give opinions, but not feel like they have to kind of guard what they say because they're not necessarily the educational experts. And so we are looking to create opportunities through newsletters where we're just communicating a lot more frequently, as well as hold some parent nights and incorporate opportunities for people just to look through the materials as we start to narrow in. So we'll be excited to share those opportunities as they come up. Any questions?
Awesome.
That's so next.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well, central office team, do we have anything really to cover on that?
We don't, I might just say, because it's on here, and I mentioned it to Glenn the other day, that we do have we do have some results back from OSBA on the policy rewrite and staff, so staff, we've they're farmed out, so staff are kind of taking that first look at those pieces. So we'll begin to start to systematically bring those forward to the board. So we can, before too long, kind of get our policy book updated and have it ready to roll.
I would just add on the appointment of the new board member. We will obviously be collecting applications, following up with that, and then going through the process of getting that seat filled. So it's several steps to get it filled, but hopefully, I don't know, we're sort of on track, I think, maybe to have it wrapped up in December.
I think we can get
So,
it.
yeah.
We were trying to make sure we had, pretty close to 30 days, to have that open, and I think we'll be about right there by the time those applications.
So just wanted to give everybody a little bit of a heads up on that that'll be happening, and some of it behind the scenes, some of it, right out front of it, but then, those steps will be happening, so. I'll be getting some correspondence from either myself or the both of us, so. I don't have anything else to add to the business meeting. It is 7:01, so why don't we take 10 minutes? And we'll gavel down for about 10 minutes and then come back for work session. So.
Perfect.
The only thing I would add is if staff is leaving us, have a great Thanksgiving on behalf of the board. Thanks for all you do. And have a great weekend training for those couple of days and then some time off. So, yeah. Anyway.
And happy Thanksgiving to you all.
Let's grab with the gals.